help me out while I advertise and try to seek a full-time replacement.
Okay, second item, discussion interaction invoice in regard to vehicle storage at Johnny's Garage.
Brenda's here, and they've actually tried to work with me on this. This is the first time in my 3 years, going on 4, that I've had to do this. It's a state police case where they unfortunately do not have some of the benefit our sheriff has of having, even though modest, a spot to store vehicles. If they impound one, it goes to whichever facility, I guess, is up, and Johnny's actually has the best location to store. In this case, it's actually at no, some of the issues in the delay in this one were out of my control, out of local detachment control, and although deemed under my dominion and control, it drives me crazy. I don't have any administrative authority with the Western State Police Crime Lab. And the reason I'm prefacing this before I give you the tow bill, so that we don't have sticker shock.
$9,432.50.
10,685.
Oh, 10,685.
And they actually quit. They stopped it.
Is that right?
Miss Dean quit accruing storage when the truck was ordered released, which happened 1st of January. Although typically that would be a cost assessed to a defendant, it was a direct order. Although they can't actually.
Donna, I spoke with Johnny's Garage about this case. I've examined the warrants. I've discussed the case with Mr. Simmons, who represents Mr. Trent. According to my investigation of this, the car was taken to Johnny's Garage on the night that Mr. Trent and another companion were arrested at the Little General for possession of some narcotics and controlled substances, which were found in the car. They were just found in the car. And when
found on the person. It was found on Mr. Trent, not in the vehicle, which then complicated my
and then when the car was taken up to Johnny's by the state police, you called up there and said, hold the car. You were the one, according to Mr. Dean, that put a hold on the car. Now, the problem I have is that there is no earthly reason that a car should have been impounded for $10,685 worth of storage fees to support a case which is ultimately going to be plea bargained down to a misdemeanor, and for which there was no evidence in the car whatsoever to support the case. Well, $10,000.
Then this is going to come up that your discussions are going to taint the other two, and it is obviously that your thinking on this is different than mine.
Yes, it is.
The delay in this was outside, and the reason I prefaced it, and I can give you orders and letters and all kind of anything you want from the lab. I couldn't get results to pursue this. It was indicted as a felony, and I intended to pursue it as a felony. I had to get a motion to compel was filed against me as the state of West Virginia. Do I have administrative authority as West Virginia State Crime Police Lab? Tell me that. Do I? Can I mandate them to do anything?
You have total control over each and every case that comes
exactly.
in front of you.
And intended to. The co-defendant, Ms. McMillan, is actually in her own issues in Nicholas County, which is why I haven't indicted her at this point. But this was indicted as a felony and had every intent of pursuing it as a felony.
To my understanding, served no useful purpose to supporting the case. Not for $10,000.
Okay. And
now,
do you have the police report? Did you interview Trooper Warwick? Did you?
I looked at the warrant. I understand that it was a simple case of narcotics found in the car. I don't see any earthly reason why the car should have been impounded for. Miss Dean, how many days was it up there?
A little over a year. Yes.
424 days?
From November, it was November the 6th, 2010, and
And I gave her the bill on 1/3/12.
And did anybody ever come up and look at that car, Ms. Dean?
No.
No one. Nobody. Not the sheriff, not the prosecutor, not the state police, not a forensics lab. Nobody came up
Well, I
in
didn't
over
need to.
400 days to say boo to that car.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I
That's
thought-
their problem I have with it. Now,
Well,
I
what
want
was
to
the
say
reason
that
for holding it in the
aside
first
from
place?
that, I think the money,
was it-
unfortunately, is owed to Mr. and Mrs. Dean, who impounded the car under order of the prosecuting attorney. I think, unfortunately, it's a bill of the county commission, not the prosecutor, because the prosecutor doesn't have the money in her budget to pay it. But it concerns me, especially when there's another car up there now.
That is not mine, Mr. Saffer, and that will be taken up with the,
It's another car up there right now, which has a bill of $9,432.50.
which was not under my authority.
That car,
The West Virginia State Fire Marshal seized it per warrant, and B.J. Robertson, as the Assistant Fire Marshal, was the one in control
is
of
there
that.
any case on that pending? There's no case at all.
And I had not, I've been trying.
There's
and
no case.
You can, you can come, I mean, my office is open, my files are open if you want to review it. I didn't even, how I learned of a fire at the Hermitage was a phone call from a reporter from the Pocahontas Times wanting a quote.
Why is the bill then to the prosecuting attorney?
Because by default, that's who they're billing, but I'm taking that one up with the Fire Marshal's office because that is not my responsibility.
The car is accruing $25 a day as we speak.
Yes, to the West Virginia State
You
Fire
are
Marshal.
the chief law enforcement officer in the county.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
we stop this bill, especially since there's nobody been arrested? Isn't that correct? Or
It
you
wasn't
didn't
their
arrest
case.
anybody?
It's-
Is anybody been arrested?
No,
Nobody's been arrested.
Mr. Robinson, I've gotten a
Has the
partial
vehicle been
report.
inspected by anybody?
The fire marshals and the deputy sheriffs and some of the state police were all up there and investigated it.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, it's been a
That
long
was
time.
Ben when it was first brought up there.
Okay, so that was over a year ago,
Yes.
and it's been up there ever since.
It has
At
been there ever since.
$25
And
a
it has
day.
been in storage
This,
where no one can get to it.
yeah, because they were actually, my understanding was informed that they had to self-contain it.
Yes.
Without, that one was without any authority from me or
Any
my
vehicle
office.
we tow in has to be self-contained. If we go tow a vehicle, it has to be put in a fenced lot or a locked building
To
or a
secure it.
building to secure it. I can't tow one to a lot that is not
And
fenced in legally
Yeah, and
by the
correct-
Public Service
correct
Commission.
me if I'm wrong, Ms. Dean, but didn't the fire marshal advise you to keep that one?
Yes, because
of
it is
possible
contains
contamination?
contaminants.
And there is, and you can get anything you want from me.
I'd
That
like
one,
to-
I'm
I would
arguing
li-
that one.
I would-
That one I will, I am
I
not.
would like that resolved immediately.
Um,
It's way too long.
it-
There's no defendant. There's nobody charged with any crime. The only thing that's happening is it's costing every taxpayer in the county $25 a day ad infinitum.
Yeah, the choice to not charge,
And so,
Came
and
from
since
Mr.
your
Robinson,
name is on the bill, I'd like you to do something about
May I
it.
speak?
I have been.
The day that that vehicle was towed in, it was told that it was to be towed. The deputy sheriff said the prosecutor wanted it towed, no matter by whatever means necessary, get it and store it and secure it.
And
Right, again.
I'm
and so-
contesting that statement, and I told you that, and I'm taking it up with the fire marshal's office, and I have, it was about a couple weeks, 3 weeks or so ago that you and I spoke,
Yeah,
to try to figure this out.
it was in January.
And I've been trying to work with Ms. Dean to get these resolved. I'm going into my 4th year, and it's the first time that I've had anything of this nature because
What about the
No.
car in the parking lot over here that belongs to the Greenbrier Valley Airport car rental? That has
Enterprise?
been there, the Enterprise rental car, which has been there since April 2009,
and they have been,
for which there is no case pending.
no, and they have been advised over and over and
Let's
over. And
stick
it's
to the
recent- I
Johnny's
know.
Garage cars.
Exactly, thank you, David.
Well, I'm
have
concerned
been
that
in-
that's another bill coming.
No, it's not. Enterprise has been informed as recently as last week to please come get it. That file's not with me, it's not on the agenda, you're correct, Mr. Fleming. But if you want to put it on there for 2 weeks from now, I'll bring you that one to show you every communication with Enterprise. I've been begging them to come get it. I've talked to corporate, I've talked to the local ones. I don't know why they won't come get it.
The value of the car for which the bill is $10,000 is $500.
And we've had it appraised by who?
The assessor told me that a car which is more than 25 years, how old is this car?
95 Jeep Cherokee.
95, so that makes it a antique automobile. And
I
it's-
promptly
the base
indicted.
the most
No,
it can be appraised for is $500.
I can argue with you all day, or you can look at the papers. I promptly indicted, was unaware that nothing was done. As soon as I found out, almost a year after it was done, and I'd already indicted, they hadn't even submitted the substance to be analyzed. I can't take, you're a defense lawyer, I can't take a case to trial if I'm just assuming what the substance is. And we impounded on 11/6 and this was submitted on 10/26. 10 months before I even could get them to submit the evidence. I indicted promptly, unfortunately making an assumption that it had been handled correctly and that I would be prepared for trial, indicting in August, then I would go to trial in late November. It had not.
Well, David, I feel the commission owes the Dean Storage Facility $10,000. And
I'm trying to
again, it's
resolve
not
this.
in the prosecutor's budget, but I'm concerned about the $9,000 that's out there too. I mean, my gosh,
Well,
that's a lot of money.
They take whoever's bringing it up there as good faith for what they're telling them. Mr. Robinson and I have had one discussion, and it's because I initiated it when I got a phone call from Mr. Hamill to give a quote on fire at the Hermitage, and I do not want to repeat what he said, but it was not a very polite quote about why he was choosing not to charge. At no time during any of this, I don't know, half hour, 40-minute discussion on the case, did he even bring up that there was a vehicle. They submitted me a bill, and that was the first information I had. And then when we were trying to resolve both of these, then since that point, I've been trying to work with the fire marshal's office because
Didn't Miss Dean just say that you told her to
No.
tow the vehicle
the
up there?
gentleman that brought it told her that it
No,
was with
the
my
deputy
approval.
sheriff that called and the 911 center called for a record.
Mhm.
They said regardless, by what means, tow the vehicle by order of the
They're-
prosecuting
they're saying
attorney.
it's
By
really-
order of the prosecuting
say,
attorney.
and
So
you're- I
you're
mean-
denying that?
Yes, and I told her that, and I told her I'm taking it up with the fire marshal's office, and actually discussed that this morning with
So
Chief
who
Walton, because it
investigated this
presumably-
evening?
Mr.
Sheriff?
No,
Do what?
state
Well, I know
fire
she
marshal.
said the deputy. I'm assuming one of your deputies told her that. Is that right?
We secured the site until the fire marshal.
The fire marshal came. It's B.J. Robinson's investigation, and he would have had to be the one that gave the authorization to explain to her how to.
Well, I was going to say, who gives the authority to hold the vehicle? It looks to me like that would have to be whoever's over the investigation, wouldn't it? I mean,
Traditional,
I don't know.
and
It sounds like the second car, the $9,000
It's
car,
not-
is
that's
still in
disputed, and I'm
storage
trying
and
to.
it's
Yes.
being disputed. But this $10,000,
It's not.
$685 has been released January 3rd.
So
It's gone,
who
and
makes
you're
the
out of money.
decision to get it released?
Exactly.
I did not make that decision. I was court ordered into December to release it and pay the bill. At that point, it had not even, we have had a trial date set for this coming Thursday on this. But without verifiable evidence, what am I going to do with it? I can't
We have to.
convict the
pay
gentleman
bill.
for possession of methamphetamine when I don't have,
Well, if it was
I didn't
found-
get the lab
I
results
just-
within the time frames that the court ordered it.
Well, what was the reasoning for holding the vehicle in the first place if the substance was found on the individual?
He was in the vehicle, and the vehicle,
No reason.
well, that's Mr. Cypher's opinion. The gentleman and the lady were in the Jeep in the parking lot. She goes into the little general, apparently, to go to the restroom to take a hit. Apparently she couldn't make it as far as wherever they were going. Came back out, they sat in the vehicle,